Amazon will almost never tell you that they are rejecting your receipt or your invoice or what's wrong with it. Sometimes they'll say, we couldn't verify your supplier. Sometimes they'll say something else that gives you a pretty good idea that the problem is that they didn't accept your receipt. A lot of the time they're rejecting your POA, your plan of action, and it's not the receipt. But that's the biggest reason why I've tried to be somewhat systematic with the invoice tip sheet is I want to eliminate variables. I want you to eliminate variables. The more questions that you can remove from your mind as to why Amazon's not accepting your appeal, the better. And so that's why I've found over time, anecdotally through trial and error, do these things this way and get these results more consistently. And it's also important to keep in mind that that doesn't mean that that's the only way to do it. That's the thing about Amazon. It's somewhat tricky. It's not color by numbers. You really do have to use your brain. You can take all this information from all these different disparate sources from, this training and this seminar and these YouTube things and this course you took. But ultimately, you have to assimilate all of that, and you have to recognize that when Amazon asks you for receipts and they say, oh, we want 365 days full of sales to be demonstrated in this receipt, sometimes they ask you for something that they really don't mean. You don't have to submit 365 days worth of invoices for one single ASIN. Sometimes I just would say, try one receipt. That might be sufficient. In a lot of ways, it's helpful to approach things where you're giving them only what they ask for and no more. And that's just sort of trial and error to figure out, did I give them something that they didn't want? Did I answer a question with information that I knew that they didn't know? Usually that's a mistake. You don't want to tell them what you know unless you're sure that that's the answer to the question they're asking.